Hi, welcome back to HomeTime, a place where we cover all aspects of home improvement, including new and old. Well, today we start a whole new project. We're building a new house. But back then, concrete block was very common. But it's been many years already that we've been using ICFs, insulated concrete forms. They stack like Legos, very energy efficient, very quiet. It's just a wonderful way to go for a foundation. But we've talked many times before about how critical the foundation is to make sure the house sits nice and solid on the property with no settling after you move in. And of course the whole thing starts with the footings. So Brad, that's quite the footing system you have going down there. This is Brad Quanbeck. He's going to be doing not only our footings but also the whole ICF foundation. So tell us a little bit about that system. I really haven't seen one of those before.
We use 2x4s to form the footing, set at the height of the top of the footing. And we use a plastic bag to go between the 2x4s, and that contours to the excavation. That way we don't have to dig or bank the footings at all.
Yeah, because banking the footing, I mean, that's a lot of work, putting all the soil up against like 2x10s or something like that to hold all that concrete in.
Right, and it's even more work if we have to dig out part of the excavation to get larger footing forms in there. And also the plastic bag helps prevent wicking of ground moisture into the footing.
Well, that's true. So that's like a permanent barrier to keep water from coming up into the footing, and then consequently it can travel right up into the wall.
Right, and we also waterproof the top of the footing so that any moisture that does get into the footing can't get into the wall.
And with this system, you're still using typical rebar.
Right, on this one, the strip footing's got 2 number 4 continuous rebar.
So still the plan tomorrow, we're going to be working on frost footings?
Right, we'll be setting ICFs tomorrow.
Now once the footings are done, we plow right into the next operation, which is starting to set the foundation walls. And for that we're going to be using the insulated concrete forms I talked about before. And we're having enough of those dropped off here to do the entire foundation, although we'll only need part of the load for what Brad's doing next. They're made of expanded polystyrene foam, so they're actually pretty light, even in the big bundles set out from the factory. Now this is a basic building block here we're talking about. 16 inches tall, 48 inches long. 2.5 inches of expanded polystyrene either side. These are the webs that are the structure that hold it together. You can screw into these on either side for all your decorative material. All the rebar just sits on these little guys right here, and of course you fill this whole thing with concrete. Once it's all done, this wall section here gives you an R value of about 20. It's very resistant to moisture, although we will do a waterproofing on the outside before we do any type of backfilling.
One thing about insulating concrete forms is they're lighter, easier to work with than concrete blocks, much more energy efficient, mold resistant, much stronger than using concrete blocks, and it never made much sense to me why we were lifting heavy concrete blocks, but then to give them any strength we filled them with concrete and rebar. We'll be starting with the frost wall on this house, and it'll be about 40 inches tall and a couple hundred feet long.
Well, things are moving along pretty well, although we've had some awfully good weather for this time of the year. Join us next time. We'll be continuing with the foundation. We'll be knee-deep in forms, but hopefully not in snow. But given this part of the country, you never know. See you then.